Students, in lecture 2, we have learned about uniform and non-uniform motion. In uniform motion, equal distances are traveled in equal intervals of time. Equal distance or displacement in equal intervals of time. And in case of uniform motion, speed or velocity is constant. It does not change. Therefore, change in the speed delta V is equal to 0. Change in the speed is 0 in case of uniform motion. This with an example I have explained in lecture 2. Coming to non-uniform motion. In non-uniform motion, bodies will be traveling unequal lengths in equal intervals of time. Equal intervals of time or vice versa. Like it can be equal lengths in unequal intervals of time. In case of non-uniform motion, speed or velocity, it is not constant. It is variable. Therefore, change in the speed or velocity which is not equal to 0. That means speed may either increase or speed may either decrease in non-uniform motion. These things we have learned in lecture 2. We have clearly got explanation about uniform motion and non-uniform motion, and speed remains constant in uniform motion, whereas it varies in case of non-uniform motion. And one more definition we have learned, it is average speed, which is equal to total distance traveled with respect to total time. That means total length traveled divided by total time. Delta S divided by delta T. And we have also defined instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed is nothing but speed at particular instant of time. Particular instant of time. Speed at particular instant of time is said to be as instantaneous speed. And in case of uniform motion, V instantaneous is equal to V average. In uniform motion, average speed and instantaneous speed are equal, whereas in non-uniform motion, average speed is not equal to instantaneous speed. Average speed and instantaneous speed are not equal in case of non-uniform speed. So you should remember these things, because based on this we will define new term in kinematics called acceleration, which will be applicable for non-uniform motion, that we will be discussing in next coming slides. In the previous slide, we have defined average speed, and we have even learned that instantaneous speed and average speed both are not equal. Now let us learn a little bit more about instantaneous speed and how to calculate instantaneous speed. We will be learning this in this particular session. So before starting, let us take one simple example. where a body is starting at position A and it is reaching to position B. Now it is traveling first 10 meter, next 10 meter, next 10 meter and next 10 meter in particular times. Let me take those time as 5 second, 10 second, 2 second and 5 second, right? Now clearly delta S, which is equal to net displacement traveled by the body, it is final position, that means final displacement minus initial displacement, which will be equal to 40 meter. And now total time interval delta T can be written as final time minus initial time, which is equal to this total time which is covered in the journey A to B. It is 22 seconds. From this you can find out V average, which is equal to 40 divided by 22, and it is meter per second. This is how you will be calculating average speed. Average speed is defined for the total journey. It is not at part. It is not some particular part. Now in this above example, I want to find out like what is the total time taken. Total time taken is equal to 22 seconds. I want to find out velocity at particular instant of time, like finding velocity or speed at 10th second. I am not telling it is 10 second, it is 10th second. 10th mean only one particular 10th second. It is not from 0 to 10. It is only in 10th second. I want to find out speed at particular time interval, which is 10th second. Now, can you tell that using this method, like using in the general method, you cannot find out what is its speed at that particular instant of time. Therefore, we will be plotting graph for this non-uniform motion, and from there we will be using concept of differentiation to know about instantaneous speed at that particular time, right? Now let me, this is what complete journey, it is 40 meter. At some particular time it is starting at position A and it is going towards B. Now let me take in this graph, I am representing that this is the point where body is starting, it is A, and this is the point where the body is ending its journey, and I name this position as B. Now what is this length? Length from A to B, which is chosen on the y-axis, it is 40 meter, right? And at this particular, like this is 40 meter point, 40 meter point on the y-axis. So on the x-axis it will be this total time which is used in traveling journey from A to B, and this time is 22 seconds, right? Now in this particular point, in this particular graph, I want to now locate where is 10th second. So starting from this point, like it can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Total time is 22 seconds. Somewhere here will be 10th second. This is 10th second. This part. This part, this is 10th second. Understand the difference between 10 second and 10 second students. 10 second means starting from 0 to 10. tenth second mean only in that particular time, only in that particular 1 second, how much distance it is traveling. That is what called as instantaneous velocity. Now this small time which is chosen, let me denote it with dt. That small interval of time, I am writing it as dt. Total time which is from starting to ending, I am denoting it with delta t. Delta t difference is 22 seconds. If I subtract 1 second from here, it becomes 21, 20, and then 19, 18, 17, 16, like that. You need to compress that particular time. You need to compress that particular time to time dt. So in order to find out displacement covered at that particular 10th second, you need to compress this delta t interval into time dt. Therefore, I can write this as delta t. Delta t is 22. I want to compress this to dt, which is tending to 0, right? What is happening here? Delta t tending to 0, but it is not equal to 0 because here 10th second mean one particular second. Now in this particular dt time, there is some length travel, right? This is length traveled in time dt. I will be denoting that on y-axis. This particular length which is traveled, it is ds. Total length from A to B, it is 40 meter. But this ds length which is traveled in time dt, that is in very small interval of time dt. Therefore, delta s is also tending to 0, but it is not equal to 0. See, delta s, this portion is not 0. This portion is not 0. There is some particular length traveled in this particular time, right? Now I want to find out instantaneous speed at 10th second. So simply what I'll do, I'll take v instantaneous is equal to, at this particular instant, say dt time, it is distance traveled ds. So simply I will write it as ds divided by dt. But how you are getting this ds divided by dt? ds, you are getting it such that you are tending this delta s to 0. dt, you are getting it because you are tending this delta t to 0. Therefore, I can simply write limit delta t tending to 0, delta s divided by delta t is equal to ds divided by dt. Now, what is delta s by delta t? Delta s by delta t is equal to V average. What is ds by dt? ds by dt is equal to V instantaneous. Hence, you can write this relation between instantaneous and average velocity as limit delta t tending to 0, V average is equal to V instantaneous. Whenever you want to find out instantaneous velocity, simply you use the relation ds by dt, where ds by dt is differentiation of displacement with respect to time. This is how you can find out instantaneous speed, which is only at particular instant of time. Students, we have known clearly the difference between instantaneous and average speed from the previous slides. First, we will be learning about average speed in detail, and we will solve few problems based on average speed, and then we will continue our discussion with instantaneous speed, and I will introduce few formulas related to differentiation, and we will use those formulas and we will be finding out instantaneous speeds and as well as average speed. In this simple example, we need to find out average speed. You should find out average speed. In order to find out average speed, we have basic relation V average is equal to delta S divided by delta T. Delta S is total distance traveled. Total distance traveled is S1 and S2. Body is traveling a distance S1 in time T1, S2 in time T2. So it is covering some length S1 in time T1 and it is covering some length S2 in time T2. Therefore, delta S is the total length travel, which is S1 plus S2 divided by what is total time interval? It is T1 plus T2. So V average is written as simply S1 plus S2. Of course, here it is S3 and T3 also. Simply you will be writing it as S3 divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3 gives you average velocity. And this is very simple application and you need to remember this basic relation in solving problems based on average speed. Moving on to next question. We have one more example based on average speed. It is also a simple basic problem. A object is traveling distances S1, S2 and S3 with speed V1, V2 and V3. Body is traveling distances S1, S2, S3 with speed V1, V2, V3. Now let me take body is covering some length S1 and this is in this total length S1 it is traveling with speed V1 and another length S2 it is traveling with speed V2, another length S3 it is traveling with speed V3. Now total distance traveled is known to you. Total distance traveled will be equal to S1, that is delta S is equal to S1 plus S2 plus S3. But you do not know total time taken. So let me take time taken to travel during this first part as T1, second part as T2, third part I take it as T3. Now I can relate S1, T1, V1 in this short journey. I can relate V1 as S1 by T1 and during second part of the journey I can relate it as V2 which is S2 divided by T2. This is basic relation of the speed and V3 is equal to S3 divided by T3. Okay. Now T1, T2, T3 can be known from this S1 by V1, T2 is equal to S2 by V3, T3 is equal to S3 by V3. And we have relation for average speed that is known to you. V average is equal to S1 plus S2 plus S3 divided by T1 plus T2 plus T3, that is S1 by V1 plus S2 by V2 plus S3 by V3. Simply substituting the S and V values over here in this equation, you can find out average speed of this particular object. Students, in last two problems, we have learned how to calculate average speed. In this problem also, we will be finding out average speed. In this question, it is mentioned that If an object travels first half of the total journey with speed v1 and next half of the total journey with speed v2, find average speed of that particular journey. So you should find out average speed of this particular journey. It is mentioned in the problem. Let me take this body is traveling a distance, yes. Total journey, it is yes. What it is mentioned in the problem? First half of the total journey is with speed v1. This is first half of the journey. It is s by 2. This is next half of the journey. That is s by 2. And this first half of the journey is traveled with speed v1. Second half of the journey is traveled with speed v2. Right? During first half of the journey, it takes some time. Let me take it as t1. In the next half, as it is speed variable, v2 is different than that of v1. Therefore, here it takes some different time t2. Right? Therefore, you can clearly write t1 time taken in this first half of the journey. It is t1 equal to time taken is equal to distance by speed. It is v1, and time taken t2 is equal to divided by v2. t1 and t2 values are known. s1 it is half of the journey. s2 it is also half of the journey. We have basic relation for average speed. Average speed is equal to s1 plus s2 divided by t1 plus t2. This gives you s by 2 plus s by 2 divided by time taken is s by 2. I can take it common over here because it is in t1 and t2. 1 by v1 plus 1 by v2. And from here you can write what is s by 2 plus s by 2. Obviously it should be s, and this is s by 2 into v2 plus v1 divided by v1 v2. S and s gets cancelled. V average is equal to 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2. This is average speed covered by the body if it is traveling 2 halves. In the question which we have solved previously, I will be changing this question. I'll make it some modification. An object travels, here it is first half of the distance. Instead of that, I will take it as first half of the total journey with speed v1 and next half with speed 2, right? I'll take it as first half time. First half of the time of the total journey, it is traveling with speed v1, and next half time it is traveling with speed v2. Find average speed. I have just changed the condition. In the previous question it was first half of the total journey, but now it is first half time it is traveling with speed v1, next half time it is traveling with speed v2. So first half time it is t1. In this t1 time it is traveling with speed v2, and in next half time I am taking it as t2. This is equal to v2. However, t1 is equal to t2 is equal to t divided by 2. Am I right? Because it is first half of the time it is t by 2, second half of the total time. Let total time of journey be t. if total time of the journey is t, first half will be t by 2, second half will be t by 2. Now let me go with pictorial form, pictorial representation. Total time taken is t seconds, right? From here to here it is t. First half of the journey it is t by 2. From here to here it is t by 2, and from here to here it is t by 2. During first half of the journey it is traveling with speed v1, and next half of the journey it is traveling with speed v2. Now this length which has been traveled in the first half time, I represent it with s1, and next half I will represent it with s2, right? Now for the first case I will be writing it as v1 is equal to s1 divided by t by 2, and next half I can write v2 is equal to s2 divided by t by 2. v1 and v2 values we have got. We can now write down average velocity as v average is equal to s1 plus s2 divided by total time of journey is t. I am representing that directly. Now how can you write s1? S1 can be reported from this. S1 is equal to v1 into t by 2 plus v2 into t by 2 divided by total time taken t. T in numerator and denominator gets cancelled. What is left over here? It is v1 plus v2 divided by 2. This gives you v average. And remember, this is applicable. This formula is used only if the body is traveling in equal times. First half time and in next half time body travels with certain particular speeds v1 and v2, then only you can use v average as v1 plus v2 by 2. Suppose first half distance and next half distance it is traveling with speed v1 and v2, then in such cases you will be writing it as v average as 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2. Remember these two conditions. Students, in the last two problems we were just dealing with simple basic examples of average speed and average velocity. We will continue our discussion with this problem. Now let me explain question first. A particle starting from point A traveling up to B with speed s, then up to point C with speed 2s, and finally up to A with speed 3s. Find its average speed. You are supposed to calculate average speed. Now I will denote that in this figure. Look here, this is point A, and here is point B, and here is point C. Body is starting at A and it is going up round journey. Around this circumference it is traveling. From A to B it is traveling with speed s, and from B to C it is traveling with speed 2s, and from C to A it is traveling with speed 3s, right? And this angle is 90 degrees. This total angle is equal to 120. This total angle is 120 degrees given, and obviously this angle will be this angle. This total angle will be 90 plus 60. It is 150. This angle will be equal to 150 degrees, right? Now let me denote these angles. Let me denote these angles as theta 1, this angle as theta 2, this angle as theta 3. right? Now, theta 1 is equal to pi by 2. That is total angle, theta 1. And what about theta 2? Theta 2 is equal to 120 degrees. 120 degrees can be written as yeah, of course, students, right? Theta 2, which is equal to 120 degrees. 120 degrees, I will be writing it as 2 pi divided by 3. And next, theta 3. Theta 3 is theta 3, which is equal to 150 degrees. 150 degrees can be written as please hold on for a second. Yeah, total round up journey, it is 360. This total angle is 360. Theta 3 can be written as 5 pi divided by 6. Now theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, all these values are known. Now I should find out average speed. V average is equal to total distance traveled from A to B. I will be writing this as AB plus BC plus CA divided by total time taken. First time I am representing it as T1. From A to B it is taking some time, T1. From B to C it is taking some time, T2. From C to A it is taking some time, T3. Right? Therefore, T1 plus T2 plus T3. This is equation number 1. I can write AB is length of this particular arc. So simply I'll be using basic relation which we have used in previous lectures. Length of arc AB is equal to R, which is radius, into angle theta. This is R into theta 1. Theta 1 is nothing but pi by 2. Similarly, length of the arc BC is equal to, radius is same, theta 2, which is R into 2 pi by 3. Similarly, length of the arc CA is equal to R into theta 3, which is equal to R into 5 pi by 6. This is total length of the arc AB, BC, CA. Now I want to find out time taken. Time T1 is equal to, time taken is equal to distance traveled by speed, right? So this will be R into pi by 2 divided by speed is S. Similarly, time taken T2 is equal to R into 2 pi by 3 divided by speed is 2S, right? Similarly, T3 is equal to R into 5 pi by 6 divided by 3S. Okay. Now substituting this T1, T2, T3 and length of the arc AB, BC and CA in this basic equation, in equation 1, you will be getting answer for average velocity. So simply V average is equal to, this question is different question. So we will now use this values in this equation. AB can be written as R into pi by 2. R I can take it common, plus 2 pi by 3 plus 5 pi by 6 divided by total time taken. Total time taken R pi divided by 6. I am taking it common from all these terms. So finally it will be S R pi divided by S, remained is 1 by 2 plus remained will be